One of the main sections of car modeling in Autodesk Alias, or even in the whole car modeling field, is modeling the hood. So this is our hood. We have it in our side view. You can create that with only, for example, one surface, most of the hoods, and you can add some trims. You have two different ways to create your hood, and that is surface modeling or wireframe modeling. Wireframe based modeling is what we are going to do, creating the curves at first, and after that we're gonna use the square tool, use rail tool or freeform blend, or a little trim and draft to create our surfaces. Okay, we have created our wireframe. We are just guessing the wireframe because we can see the lines exactly from our blueprint, so we can have the approximate constraint of our lines. So as we talked about that earlier, we said that you should set the lines on a blueprint, on a side view, and for example one other view, front view or top view. I've just done that with the side and top. So we have some lines here as you see, and we have a surface, a soft surface here, another surface here with a positional connection with a little fillet, and another one here and another here. So let's just try to create something a little different. You know, we have our fender here, so we should create our hood at first, and then we can connect that with respect to our shoulder. We can create, for example, a surface like a square or something like that, or we can use you can create more than one surface in that area to get the shape that we want. Okay, now let's start. One of the important things that exist is that sometimes I can't create these surfaces. Let me just add these curves to a new layer. You know, we can create one main surface from side to the middle of the hood, and then project these lines into that, and then trim it, and after that we can play with the surfaces with the draft tool or freeform blend or freeform blend or anything you think is the answer to create the shape. So we're gonna add our copied curves here because we want to have these curves. Okay. What we're gonna do here is using the stretch tool to connect the curves here, because we don't want to have a main surface here. We want some sections. I told you we can use a different way. There are many different ways here, but just listen to this because this is one of the important ways that you can use. Okay. For example, here we can create that. I was just undoing the stretch work to have the last one. Okay, we have the curve here. I want to check the curvature of these two curves, for example. As you see, at the end of this curve, you know, we are just showing you the difference between a stretched curve and the main curve. So as you see, when I am moving this, the ending curvature of this curve is exactly set to the last curve. Not a very exact, not exactly, but I mean the tilt, the curvature comp is very close enough. So the stretch tool is very useful here. I just wanted to say this. So let's use the stretch for this other curve and this curve, both of these curves. Let me just undo that. For example, this one, and connect the other one right here. Don't forget to use Ctrl Alt to snap it to your curve. Anyways, you can also delete that curve because we don't want it. We don't want that now. So we have connected the curve to the hood edge. So we're gonna delete the last lines we had. Turn off the CVs. So we don't want a crowd workspace, so we can use the square tool here. As you see, I told you this is one of the main ways. This is one of the ways. You can use some other ways. I've created this. The curvature is good. Very good. You can also change that. For example, in plot curvature. Or you can change the options, the values, the boundaries. And you can also change the CVs to have the shape that you want, but don't forget to check that with the blueprint after you change. Okay, we're gonna have position here. This is it. Okay, one surface is between these two here, but you know there is a line here that is drafted inside. Okay, so how can we show that? You know, we can do both of things, drafting inside or drafting outside. You know, I've just symmetried that layer. So let's do one of that. Let's just move away from our RS3 Sadra model. Let's just create something with respect to blueprints. You know, in blueprints, it is very hard to find out the surface tilts, because for example, somewhere like this, you know, somewhere like this, you can see the pick here, so you can check the tilt, check the curvature, check the behavior of any surface. But you know, in blueprints, in a front view and side and top, it is very, very, very hard to obtain the surface. So let me, as you see, there's a little problem here. So we can use free tool. What is free tool? The free tool, the free option, the free continuity is exactly free. It means it's not connected to your curve. It's free in the air, in this space. As you see, it's very good here. It is connected, so we can also connect them with a freeform blend, for example. You can use the align tool, for example. There are many factors you can use here. So you can just check the curvature here. As you see in the hardware view, let's just copy that because the surface quality is not very good. So we can use the freeform blend. Just check the auto update and check the modify range, so you can move the end of this surface exactly where you want. So we can check that. As you see, there is no difference. Why? Because the surfaces are not very close, so it's hard for that to connect. So what we can do here, we can just move the CVs to, or we can align those two main surfaces and just trim it. Okay, now let's move on, because that part is not important. You can do it because we have worked on that before. Okay, imagine that this is going inside or outside, so you should use the draft tool, for example. Let me just add this to my layer. Okay, let me just create a free curve here with respect to the end position and start position here. Okay, I want to move the CVs. Okay, we've done it. Just two or three squares on one draft tool. You know, it's very easy for you. You can do that. It's a waste of time if I talk about that. You know, it's very easy, and I've extended the surface at the end after that and trim that, and this is our freeform blend. Or I told you, you can use the squares. As you see here, I've just extended the surface and just double click on the extend tool and uncheck the merge, so you can create another surface with an extrapolate extend option. So let's move, because that was so easy. You can add a fillets later. I've just created the curves of our roof and our pillar. So we have many ways to create surfaces here with different quality. I repeat this, with different quality. You know, you can create very different qualities with very different ways. What I can do here, for example, I can use freeform blend to connect these two surfaces, these two curves, and after that I can use symmetry align, for example, but take care of the CVs of the surface before using the symmetry align tool. And the other, and you can, after that you can have a sharp surfaces and add a fillet between your surfaces. Or you can, a different way is you can add fillets and then add lines between those two, I mean the middle curve of the roof and this and the edge of the roof. Connect them with a curve from the top view, and you can use the square. Okay, let's check the first way. For example, I've created a surface here. As you see, the middle is connecting positionally, but it's not important for us now. We're gonna we're gonna work on that later. Don't forget to not to click on that weird red icon in the diagonal shading, because it is very dangerous, because your computer is going to dead. Okay, I was just joking. You have some sharp surfaces here. How you can revise that? You know, we have a curvature here. We have a curved roof here. So I can use the symmetry align here. Click on that edge. I click on it. As you see, it is completely destroyed. Why? Because our CVs was not more than 1 CVs. You know, your V surfaces, your V CVs, I have added 1 V, so it is 2. I've entered the 2, so when I add a symmetry align, so they are connecting. And you can also move the CVs if you want to have a special curvature if you think it's necessary, if you think it's important. Or you can also increase the CVs of V. For example, 3, as you see, the curvature is going to decrease. Okay, or you can use 2 V CVs and then just move it. But don't forget that to do these things, do your way for all these 3 surfaces, because they are connecting. You know, the very important thing here is having same way for same position surfaces. You know, they are all in the middle, so you're gonna do same thing for them to have A-class surfaces, because when you are connecting those surfaces or adding a fillets, for example here we are adding a fillet, it is very hard for the software to create fillets between the surfaces that are not creating with the same way, So these are creating, these surfaces are created with the same way, so the fillet is going to be very, very good and A-class and smooth and soft and very good. So I'm just trying to find a good number for my fillets. For example, something like this, or more than this if you want. Or there is also another way. You can use tubular offset. We have talked about the tubular offset before. Or you can add some lines manually here and trim the surfaces and use the freeform blend to connect the surfaces. You know, the freeform blend acts as a fillet sometimes, so you can use freeform blend tool instead of fillet tool. You know, for example, somewhere like this you can't find a good number because it's not working. So you should change between the G1 and G2, or if it can't get fixed, so you can trim them and connect them with the freeform blend. So we have created a very nice and soft roof here. You know, it's okay for me here, but you should work on the qualities. You should have something very exactly, you know, because the lack of the time, I can't work on this very much. You know, using tubular offset and freeform blend, it takes time. So let me just show you the other way. I'm just deleting all I have. Don't delete that if you have created, because we need them. Okay, I am adding the fillets manually here to curves, not to surfaces. I'm not going to use fillet for surfaces, just for the curves, with a curve fillet tool, G1 or G2, anything you want, just create that. Turn on the automatic trim and just try to find a good value. You know, the fillet between the middle surfaces and the fillets between the edge surfaces, the roof edge, shouldn't be the same value, so you can change it, you know. And sometimes the main, you know, the middle fillet is more than the edge fillets, and sometimes the edge fillet is more. Just take care about this. For example, here the middle curve have bigger fillets. The middle curves have big fillets, so after that we're gonna have a freeform blend here. You can turn on the explicit control if you want to control the spans or the degrees of the surface. Okay, we can change the V here. And it's done. And do the same for all of these surfaces. You know, using the symmetry layer is going to annoy us in this situation, because suddenly you are going to click on that and use, for example, a skirt edge for roof line. Okay, we're going to create triple or double V CVs. Okay, we're increasing the CVs to 2, and after that we can use the edge align tool. As you are doing the same thing for all of these surfaces, roof and the surfaces that we have at the top, so they are connecting very smoothly and soft. So for now our quality is very good here. So you can continue modeling to the back surface, for example. You can also use the freeform blend here if you want, or a square tool if you want. You know, this is very optional because there are many different ways, but they are giving us the different, very close but different answers, different results. So you should keep in mind to choose the best results. So it is very good for me here. Okay, as you see, we have a very big fillet here with a different way. You know, we couldn't create a good fillet there because the software was not going to build the fillet, so we have created this manually. This is something like this. This is something like we have created the fillets manually with a curve fillet tool. So it's done. Hood and the roof, you know, they are very soft surfaces. They are A-class surfaces now, because they don't have any, they don't have any problem in connection, and the degrees are not more than 5, and they are all single span, so it is A-class surface. So we have an A-class roof here. We just can say that the second way was very useful for class A surfaces. It gave us a better quality surface here. But sometimes that first way is very helpful too. But for now, we just wanted to create something like this. As you see in the patch light here, we have some bezier surfaces here to have the A-class quality. The patch light is very good. And as you see in our hood and our roof, also we have a good patch light and A-class surfaces as our skirts and other areas.